Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline Live in Bethel Park Studios. Thanks for watching, everybody, locally in Bethel Park on Comcast 7. Appreciate all you guys watching it. I was at the voting booth today, Smoking Jim, and a couple guys go, "We know who you are. We watch your show. They like us." Thanks, Bob, for saying that early in the morning at the voting booths. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 everywhere, from Nemacolin all the way to Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh. That's true. Each community in the area, somebody is watching us on Verizon 32. So thank you very much. We just hit another new high, guys. I got to shout out to Jim Aj. I don't know who you're telling to like our page, but we're at 4,585 likes. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. A lot of hard work. I won't go into my spiel about Smoking Jim will like everything. Oh, I said that. He will like everything. Just give us a like and ask him. He will. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Chip Hayner is in a business meeting right now. He'll be back with us next week. Stay tuned. We won't have Chip's trivia time tonight. But I have Smoking Jim Frazier sitting right next to me, and Zach, the Amish Assassin, Brenner Contracting, Pittsburgh Sportsline co-host, Fight Company steward, steel worker, and everything else. He's here tonight too with a lot of great information to bring out to you. We start our first segment with what's on our mind, and I'm going to ask Zach Brenner, what's on your mind?
You know, Al Levine, the talking machine, what's on my mind tonight? I'm sure you're going to be excited with this one, Smoking Jim. It's about hockey. Team Canada wins the gold at the World Championships, and who shines? Sid the Kid Crosby shines in the tournament, shines for Team Canada, wins another gold medal. Malkin gets a silver medal, is very disappointing in the tournament. Like I said, Sid the Kid rises above and shines. The USA takes the bronze medal in the World Championships, so it went Canada gold, silver to the Russians, and bronze to the Americans, which they're very familiar with bronze in hockey. But we'll take that, Smoking Jim, because the world can't beat us in certain things like real football, and I'm not talking about soccer. Mm-hmm. But what really bothers me, Smoking Jim Frazier and Al Levine, is how you can get big money to play for the Pittsburgh Penguins. You had a good season, you know, by all means. Like Sidney Crosby had a good season. It was one of his better seasons since getting his eggs scrambled. But what like I said,
breakfast?
What bothers me the most is that how these players seem, Smoking Jim, to be able to just have an early exit from the playoffs, go suit up for their country, play way better than they were even given the effort for us for the millions of dollars that they're getting, and then win a gold medal. And meanwhile, you know, the rest of us, the city, the taxpayer, the ticket buyer, is left, watching the Rangers and the Lightning in the Eastern Conference playoffs, Levine. But
hello.
The last thing that's on my mind tonight, folks, is this is just in the NFL. Smoking Jim has decided to push the extra point back to the 15-yard line, and defenses will now be allowed to have the opportunity to score on the plays. So that's what's on my mind tonight, folks. The NFL keeps tinkering with the best product in the world, and Smoking Jim shaking his head.
Thanks, Zach Brenner. Appreciate it. I don't know what that was about. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got the C, Levine.
Thank you.
Just real quick, I know everybody out there watching would love to hear about this. I'm talking NBA playoffs. And Atlanta's playing Cleveland. And LeBron James and Kyrie Irving should have enough offensive firepower to get past Atlanta. But it's going to be hard to win the NBA championship without Kevin Love. Steph Curry was league MVP this year. Harden was runner-up, and they're going to be playing each other. So I look for Golden State to beat up on Houston and knock off Cleveland for the NBA championship. And Cleveland hadn't won a pro championship since Jim Brown won it with the Cleveland Browns in 1964. Thanks, Little Z. And they're probably going to have to wait to 2016, especially if next year, if Kevin Love re-signs with them. And since Chip is not here, I'll take a couple extra seconds just to talk on something that I've not heard anybody mention on the planet. So I'll drop a few little nuggets. You're seeing now, El Levine, the talking machine. You grew up in a lily white neighborhood, and so did I.
Actually, I didn't.
Neither did I.
Well, no, you don't count on this one, Little Z. But the reason I brought that up is you're starting to see a lot more former NBA fathers. Their sons are now. A lot of them are playing in the NBA. Steph Curry, Rivers, there's a bunch of them. Kevin Love, on and on. Now, probably when Aau Levine, the talking machine, was coming through the neighborhood, back then, and like it was in my neighborhood, when kids wanted to be better in basketball, they were always told that they had to go to the inner city, to the hood to play. So back in the day, you had the Ozenham League that was on the Hill District. A lot of white kids, great white kids, would come play in that league, and they were safe. You had the Connie Hawkins League, and so you had a lot of guys was able to develop their game. But when the gangs started to flourish, and then the guns infiltrated the inner cities, it wasn't safe. So you've seen a period of about 20 or 30 years where you didn't see great, rich former NBA players, their sons developing their game because it was too dangerous to send their kids back to the hood. But the reason you're seeing that now, and the reason you're going to see a lot more of it in the future, is because of AAU basketball. Now with AAU basketball, it takes all the elite kids from all the different school districts and they combine one team, and they travel all over the country to play in some of the best competition all year long, and it's very expensive to play AAU basketball. So now you're starting to see guys like Steph Curry and Rivers and Kevin Love and a lot of these guys whose dad were great, but they're developing their game at a young age thanks to AAU. And that's what's on my mind.
Very insightful, Smoking Jim. I was waiting for you to drop a couple coaches' names. And I
You
did
know what
go to
AAU stands
Ozenham.
No, I don't.
I thought you'd at least go into that. But I did see a lot of great basketball when my dad refereed.
I know that's right, brother.
Up
You were
until
safe.
1980.
And you were
I
safe
didn't feel
in it.
safe then. There were guys like you running around there. So
No guns, though. No guns back then.
I understand. Hey, one more thing before I show the promo. Can you get a close-up of Smoking Jim's head? Close-up. Higher. That hat looks awesome on Smoking Jim Frazier.
Black and gold like Gateway.
Black and gold, definitely. Except for one thing. Can you read what's on there? I know the Pittsburgh doesn't show up, but what's that underneath?
Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Thank you. Now, since we're promoting a couple things like our show, since people noticed us.
That rhythm just
All right,
working.
get off of his
Working
head.
that rhythm.
Can you get Zach Brenner's shirt? Because he usually has 18 different things. Now, you don't have to get too close. That's a big shirt, so it'll blanket the whole area. Now, if you want to have a patch on the Brenner Contracting shirts, please contact Zach Brenner. Do it on Facebook because he's always on there. But thanks for wearing the shirt. Man, I'd like a black shirt like that. I can't believe I don't have one. And a blue and a red and a green. I need that green. All right, that's enough. John, Tiger, thank you. That's enough. Back to some business. Our pizza sponsor, 412-831-1900. Now, there's a special tonight. It's their anniversary. So it's the last day that you can get $4.99 pizza with one topping. Call that number. Tell them Aau Levine, the talking machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, or Zach Brenner, and all the volunteers here enjoyed the pizza except for the one guy who can't eat the pizza, and he understands who he is. I don't want to embarrass him, but he's a great cameraman. John the Tiger Kiger, thank you, buddy. And did you get that close up? Look at that. $4.99 pizza. 412-831-1900 with one topping. I still have tickets left. This contest is only going on until June 8th. There'll be a live drawing. Mayor Jack Allen will pull the winning ticket. And I still have tickets for $1. You get a $650 Weber grill from Evie Hardware. Thanks, Handy Andy, for donating the grill. We appreciate it. And I've seen the grill. We've done a commercial with it. It's a real grill. So contact me. We only got a few more days left with the holiday, and I have tickets. For all of you that went to the Bethel Farmers Market, thanks for doing that. We appreciate it in the community. Thanks for all the vendors for coming out. St. Thomas More, right across from South Hills Village. Thanks, John. Excellent camera work. You seem much more focused while you're not, Thank you. What was on my mind, Zach? You stole a little of my thunder, but I'm going to give it out partially. It's rare. Okay, I got to give a shout out. Can you pull up on this one? This is a BPTV first. I got a before and after photo. The before is, I can't see which one.
No, you're good, you're good.
Am I good?
Yeah.
There's a before and after. I was at a Zazu today. Marianne Workman, thank you for the haircut. I said, my co-hosts say I don't get a haircut from you. You got to take a little more off the top. So that's it. Can you get closer? Or is that about as always? Now this is on Zach's smartphone, so I don't know how he got this photo. It's amazing. But thanks, Marianne. Now they believe me. Smoking Jim said, did you get a haircut? So, yes, we did. That's it for the promotions. Zach Brenner, did you know that there's only 26 guys, now including Sid Crosby, that have won 3 different cups?
No, I did not.
Well, I wanted to give that little bit of trivia and fact, no fiction. Sid Crosby, by winning on the team with the World Cup, now has the Canadian Cup, and he has the Stanley Cup, and now the World Cup. He's one of 26 players to ever do that in history.
Wow.
So that's some of the reason what I was going to talk about, where he stole some of why do these guys play for their country? Because they've been in their country longer than they've been on a team. Mm-hmm. And when Malkin's parents are in custody or something, I heard they did get out because silver wasn't so bad, but they did want gold in Russia. And I don't know if I'm kidding, but some guys have laughed at that, so we'll just go with it. But to play for your country, even players in the USA will talk about that. It means a lot to them, whether it means more than winning the Stanley Cup and making millions and advertisement deals, I don't know. But sometimes sports is a little more pure, where people actually do believe in maybe God and country or something like that. So that's what's on my mind for tonight.
Country and state.
I don't know. That'll be a history show for you next week. All right, we got our segments coming up. No trivia time, but we're going to go right to Smokin' Jim with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac, and he's opening it as we speak. I can't wait to hear this one.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And a few years back, I was with a group of guys at the Holiday House in Monroeville. And this group included Louis Lips and Barry Bonds.
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yes, sir.
What year was that?
The Holiday House in Monroeville was very similar to Latitude 360.
Much better.
But since it was in Monroeville, it was better. You're right,
beat you
Al
to it,
Levine, the
sorry.
Talking Machine. The Holiday House was a hotel. It was a comedy club, a nightclub, and a supper club all under one roof. And Louis Lips was there representing Coca-Cola. And I noticed another Coca-Cola rep that was standing by herself. So I went over and talked to him for an hour, and nobody seemed to recognize him. And he was wearing a black Adidas warm-up suit, sweatsuit with the red stripes. Remember those?
I
How
remember
sharp
those.
they were. And
I think I had one.
talked to him for about an hour. And his name is Michael Jordan, one of the richest and most famous people
Never
of
heard of
all
him.
time. And Michael Jordan was at the Holiday House, and he was being represented by Coca-Cola, being endorsed by them at that particular time, and nobody knew him in Pittsburgh at that time. And the reason I brought up that particular story is because last week on many of the talk shows, they says, can a 52-year-old Michael Jordan beat LeBron James in a one-on-one basketball? And America spoke up, and 34% of the people in America believed that Michael Jordan, even at 52, could beat LeBron James in a game of one-on-one.
And what do they know?
And that's my fiction and facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Smoking Jim. Appreciate the facts there. Zach Brenner, we'll go to some Z time right now.
Well, first, I do believe that, you know what, LeBron James is probably one of the most physically gifted basketball players. His strength, just his physical attributes, Smoking Jim Fraser, they speak for themselves. He has intangibles that you can't even genetically replicate. You know, he's a freak of nature. He's a beast. So, with that being said, even with no love in Cleveland and not having won a championship since 1964, I still think that you can't look past Atlanta first. They got to get past Atlanta in one piece. Irving's banged up right now a little bit. It's going to be on James. Do I think James is going to rise up? Yeah, I really do believe that. He's one of the few products out of Ohio that I have true confidence in. The other one being Ben Roethlisberger, as Al Levine knows, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I remember
And Smoking Jim.
very well where I was the day he was drafted, and it was a very joyous day. Very joyous day. With that being said, I'm also very delighted that Chip had to go handle some business tonight. There won't be
Flag on
a
the
tremendous
play.
tremendous amount of Bucko talk tonight. I know how much
I can't believe
Al
flag.
Levine. I know how much Al Levine loves the battling Buccos, who have taken one of three against the Cubs over the weekend. I'm sure he might allude to or touch on that. But this is just another great piece of work that we pump out here.
A golf towel
Brenner
for all you
Contracting.
golfers
The official golf towel
of Pittsburgh Sportsline.
of Pittsburgh Sportsline, on the bag of the Amish Assassin, but not on the bag yet. Obviously, it's here.
It's clean.
It's going to make its way to the golf bag one of these days coming up. A little bit of Z time here. I want to just touch a little bit more on the events that happened on Saturday night down at the Meadows. Boxing Madness took place down there at the Meadows Horse Track, Racetrack and Casino. Horse track. Well, it is a horse track, so I got that right.
Yeah, you
But,
did. You misspoke and we're correct.
Al Levine and the Talking Machine and Smoking Jim Fraser were on the play-by-play color commentary for the matches that'll be rebroadcast on Fox 53. I was delighted and happy for those guys who were under the dry canopy during the rain. They never seemed to let up or slow down or go away. Great night of boxing. Could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been promoted better? Yes. But other than that, the matches that did take place were very eventful and exciting, and I look forward to seeing that rebroadcast and getting to watch it for once.
When is it going to be? Did you hear officially? Because they were saying midnight maybe.
That's what I was saying. Saturday night at midnight.
Yeah.
Al Levine, the Talking Machine.
And that actually makes it Sunday, so that's what's confusing.
It does. It actually
So we'll have to
does.
see.
It actually does.
Because Smoke and Jim argued that point before with me, remember?
Yeah, I
And
do.
you were right. You crushed me on that.
But just to recap, Smoking Jim's favorite under 500 fighter, Reiko War Saunders, took another loss to Carpensy in the co-main event, and I'll flip my hat around for the champ. Team Salka.
Get a close-up of his head, please.
Team Salka come to do what Team Salka does best.
Try to
and
get the
that's-
hat, not that head.
And that's
Thanks.
win. And
John
win
the Tiger Kiger, excellent work tonight.
in dramatic fashion. Lightning Rod did with vicious body shots. TKO in the 6th round. His opponent had to be carted off in a gurney to a waiting ambulance, which kind of took a little bit of the joy out of the victory, because you never want to kill a guy or or permanently injure a guy in any kind of fight. So once we determined that the kid was going to be okay, and it was just a matter of pumping him full of fluids and getting him back hydrated, the celebration.
That's what
continued.
the color guy actually said during the show, that he was dehydrated. You have to listen to the tape.
Which one? The color
I'm
guy.
the color guy. What is wrong with you?
said
He's
the color guy.
play-by-play.
He said the color guy.
I said the
which
color.
one?
I
You got
said
a
the
tan
color.
guy?
You know what? You guys, from whatever neighborhood you come from, you have a predisposed attitude in what you hear. It's just amazing. Smoking Jim is notorious for doing play-by-play. So I'm the color guy.
All right. Well, you are the color guy.
I understand that.
That's what what's that other woman's name? Teeny.
Who?
At the golfing event for the Pittsburgh Sportsline. Queenie, that's it. Queenie.
Teeny Queenie.
Yeah.
Queenie.
Queenie.
I'll get it. That's what Queenie said. She called out Levine the colored guy
I miss her.
during that great
I
event.
need
When
some of
Smokin'
what's
Jim-
I need some of what Smoking Jim's
When
on.
Smoking Jim got famously came late, helped himself to a hearty plate, then sat down for a broadcast, which then they brought him another hearty plate. So on that particular evening, me and Levine each got a plate, so that's 2 plates, and Smoking Jim got 2 plates. So he was up on us.
Well,
on
he
that.
is special. He is special, but yeah,
We got to thank Frank Luca,
yeah.
Crown Boxing,
I
the
was
Meadows,
waiting for
the
you.
Meadows Casino, Rod Soka, Coach Rock
Manager
and company.
Kevin there. Manager Kevin was going to bet me on the storm not coming because I said, "Oh, we're not getting any more rain." He said, "I'll take that money right now. Let's bet." I go, "I'm not going to lose. I don't believe in gambling, but unless you have a sure shot." So,
Now, I promised a bunch of people, Levine, and I'll segue out of Z-Time for this. There's a lot of people that are very interested in your feelings on the upcoming horse race now that American Pharoah has took back-to-back races. So there's a lot of
after
people.
my on location thing, maybe we can discuss a little horse talk.
Go ahead, on location.
I don't know what you're segueing into. I would ask you to spell it, but you're not a reader like my man Smoking Jim, so I'm not going to embarrass you. So I didn't know it was the vehicle we're driving over here or if it's actually the verbiage. So I'll go to on location. We had a great time at the Royal Place, except for one thing. Before we got there, there was a monsoon. The rain was so bad. Luckily, they finally fixed that area where you don't have flooding that's permanent. Some of the roads had a foot or so of water, but at least they were draining as we were getting there. It was a great group of guests. You'll have to see the video be up maybe later tonight. Dave Cable did send it out quickly, so it's out there on YouTube. Anybody wants to sneak a peek there before I try blasting it out to people, knock yourselves out. It's a very popular show. Our Monday night shows are quite popular on YouTube as compared to the most highly rated show in Munhall, the Tuesday night show. I don't know if they watch the show live like all of you folks are doing, but we appreciate that, and we also appreciate you watching it on YouTube. And if you tell your friends that live in other states, because we're in almost 50 states and 50 countries, tell them they can watch it. All of our shows, all 300 plus shows on YouTube, easy to find. So on location, we were at the Royal Place. Great guests, great food, great conversation, and great photos by the injured Bill Boyce, who's still on the injured reserve list. He's had so many injuries this year, it's even hard for me to bust his chops. But job well done, Bill. And I see you're in pain with those rotator cuffs. And thanks, Matt Harkins in the control room, who's given us how much time we have left. So I guess I can still talk on location. Come out June 1st. We'll be back on location at the Royal Place. Memorial Day, we will not be at Duke's Rib House and Grill since it's a holiday. Enjoy that. Who is it? Smoking Jim? Your phone's going crazy.
It's okay.
Oh, you sure? Because if there's a sweetie
Only
alert.
on live TV, folks.
All right. So we'll be back at Duke's Rib House the second week of June. And we're looking at, you're talking about horse experts. We're going to have one of the best in the Pittsburgh area. He's a legend. Roger Houston has agreed to be on our show. And he's going to be coming out June 8th. And we may get Chris Gooden, the photographer that takes all those great photos of the horses that I post from the meadows. So stay tuned for Dukes in a couple weeks. And Memorial Day we will be off. And come out June 1st. I know I gave you a lot of information. Zach, mark your calendar. June 1st, back at the Royal Place for another great show. Smoking Jim already knows, and we're working on guests right now as we speak. Oh, we got an update from our man, Devin Shea. I know it's a live show. He got the El Salvadorian report. Still hot, imminent thunderstorms. So we got El Salvadorian weather. Then he's trying to give me, he must be delirious from the heat. He's talking about soccer. So we'll just scratch that.
So Monday's Memorial Day?
Yes, I'm trying to give you the dates because the time is flying.
Well, speaking of dates,
I just booked 3 people today for Monday. I didn't realize it was Memorial Day.
That's cool, Smoking Jim.
I've got to reschedule.
Speaking of dates, I'll be waiting for my birthday present on May 30th.
Oh, that's good. It may be a day later, so.
So the next show is June 1st.
Yeah, June 1st. That's why I wanted to say.
Yep.
So hopefully those people can come to the Royal Place, buddy. I wondered why you were so depressed there. I haven't seen that since you lost 4 houses 2 years ago. So during the football season, of course, but we'll try not to mention that. So Zach Brenner, since I already segued into horses, for you to segue back to me to horses, there was a little race called the Preakness.
Yes, sir. I know you didn't get to see it. Maybe you caught up on it after.
Oh, I caught up on it.
I know.
My man, it was so muddy. The rain was so bad. This horse, they didn't expect him to be a mutter because he had the rail. Now the rail, for all you non-experts, the track is banked. Oh, hello. For all of you watching Zach Brenner, he wasn't gaming. He doesn't get thrown out. He has a reprieve. He was close.
He was just daydreaming.
He just faded because he didn't have something in his hand.
Oh,
We
okay.
appreciate it.
Right.
He's back.
Right. Back to living.
So the track drains down towards the rail. What that does is make it very sloppy. Now, some horses don't like mud in their face. Others don't like mud in their feet. Some don't like both, and some don't like rain hitting them. So there was some speculation that American Pharaoh would not do that well. We ended up winning by one of the top lengths. He won by 7 lengths, which is one of the top 6 races that were at the track, and that was in the mud. You know, winning by lengths, not speed, which that's another category. So he's won on a fast track, he's won on an off track, which is muddy. Then they race at the Belmont, the longest race. So I think he will do it. This will be the first time since Affirmed in 1978 that you have a Triple Crown winner. You have one of the best trainers of our modern era, the last 10, 15 years.
No way.
Bob Baffert. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you're a horse expert. Maybe you could give us some of that expertise.
No way will he win.
Would you like to wager on that, Smoking Jim?
I'll put
way.
$1 up.
All right.
No way he'll win. Why? Is there a curse?
Too long of a
Well, when was the last time it was done, Levine? When was
1978, Affirmed.
1978 was the last time that we had a triple.
Before you were born.
Before I was born. 6 years before I was born was the last
Mark
time.
that down. Now you know his age.
I'm not trying. I don't try to hide my age.
Well, in case we check the tapes, now we have it on record.
So,
Go ahead.
so with that said, Levine, so since 1978, there hasn't been somebody to do it, and you're that confident that at the Belmont,
When a horse is winning like this on different tracks, he actually has the endurance. It's harder to run in mud than it is on a longer track. So that's part of it. And it depends on the breeding of the horse and everything else. You can research some of that. But I believe it if you don't bet and you haven't started betting, don't bet. But use our horse, American Pharaoh. You can put him with a couple combinations on top. Don't spend a lot of money.
Now, for the casual horse fan, Levine, whenever they draw these starting positions on the gate, what's the ideal position to come out of on the gate?
You want to be somewhere in the middle, 5, 6, 7, and you don't want to be in the back row unless you're, right behind the first couple horses, so you can get some, action there.
So to draw the rail at the Preakness was almost like was a death sentence to some horses because of the conditions.
Yeah, it
on
could
the
be
inside?
with that. Yeah, a lot of horsemen and trainers, they do not want the rail, just in general. Now, sometimes the rail's okay if you have a front runner that just wants to bolt out of there like a racehorse does and take the lead right away. So front runners, it's hard in this caliber of race. You really have to have a heck of a horse. They'll play more strategic, maybe for the first quarter or so, and see how things are shaking out depending on how many horses. I'm not sure how many horses are in this race.
Well, to that point, I would have to ask you this. Now, this is something that I don't really like, Smoking Jim. They can bring in a horse that has not run in the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness and put them in to the Belmont. And that's why I think it hasn't been done since 1978, because that's what the argument is, that you should have to run all 3 races. You should be able to hold a horse.
That's one of the arguments. But a lot of other things that you don't even realize, one of the reasons they don't race a lot of these horses in each race is because when the year starts, their 3-year-old season, some of them were born in June, maybe even July. So their 3-year-old season, they're only 2.5 years old, where other horses were born in February, March, who are truer to the 3-year-old, and they develop more.
You got to be 3.
Well, you're automatically, as a horse, like you, we don't know your age, but, say as an example, you were born 2 years ago, and in 2016, like you were born in January, which that's pretty good. So in 2016, you'd really be 3 years old. Now I'm born at the end of June, I'd be 2.5.
That's a big difference.
Well, you see that in sports, but I'm not sure if you consider horses great athletes like I do.
Yeah, I do.
Like you didn't jog them around tracks for 5 miles like I did out at the Meadows.
That's amazing.
Oh, we got a caller.
That's Mr. Ed calling in.
I think we lost him. We lost him. We lost him.
I think he got one job.
We lost him. Have him call back. So, there we go. They had that phone on the
They
edge.
got one job.
Hello, caller. I hope you are who I think you are.
Well, I hope I still am after this flight home from Pittsburgh.
Well, this has to be the legendary Dan J. Welcome to another great show, Dan J.
Great to see my boys this weekend. What a great weekend of fistic action in the rain in Washington, Pennsylvania. Always great to see the friendly faces of Zach Brenner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and of course the talking machine himself.
All right, Dan, my man.
Wow, you can call in next week too. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry about last week, by the way. I had every intention of calling in. Something came up at the very last minute, and just wasn't able to get away to a quiet location.
Well, I just hope it was good business, not bad business or funny business. So
It was all good. It was all good.
all right, you got a reprieve for this week. You were on double secret probation because I know you understand that. So we'll work on that. Hey, what's on your mind with all this fighting? Where do you want to start?
Hey man, I don't know, Zach, go ahead, throw some things in. I just want to say Rod Salka looked so good this weekend, and I'm not just hyping him up because he's my boy, but like at 130 pounds, having to make that weight and literally draining himself. Everybody that was involved in the day on Friday knew how drained he was to make 130 pounds for the first time. You got to think he's been fighting between 35 and 43 pretty much for the last 2 years. Well, he's been 35 his whole career, and then even up to 43 for the Garcia fight. But to cut that weight in 7 or 8 weeks, it was an interesting challenge, and we were worried. But he made the weight and then looked even better on Saturday night. So.
Well, he looked a little bit hydrated. When I saw him, that's the greatest shape that I've seen him in the last 3 years. But it's also the most emaciated that I ever saw him.
Yeah, no doubt. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he pretty much said to me, "Hey man, if I make it, I make it. If not, I'm just not going to kill myself." So I think maybe when he released the resistance around cutting the weight, I think just relaxing might have been the difference. His body just go ahead and let loose that last pound or pound and a half or whatever he needs to do. And he actually came in under 130 at 129. So we were all very happy to get that report.
Definitely. And what did you think of the action, the way he was throwing so many punches there in combinations, multiple combinations?
Zach and I were lucky to say we were a little worried when he threw 100 punches against the ropes for one exchange to try to get that kid out of there, but that kid was tough as nails, and boy, I mean, he hit it with everything literally but the kitchen sink. And
Well, he did it right in front of Smoking Jim for about 60. I lost track after 60.
That was actually the third round, and the concern was from how much he had to drain himself to get down to that weight. The concern was that he was going to punch himself out right there at that moment if they didn't stop it right there, that he was going to be in trouble. But obviously, being the champ that he is, he responded. And that kid, I tell you what, man, I have the utmost respect for that kid because he came in and he gave it all he had until his organs and his kidneys told him that it was over.
Well, anybody that has shut up on their trunks got to be sort of crazy and unorthodox because he was throwing punches.
He definitely came to win. He was at no point an opponent. He wasn't coming to lay down. I mean, this kid was 11-0 when he started stepping up, and he's fought nothing but. I mean, he had an 11-5 record, but that record is completely deceiving. If you know boxing, you look at his record. The guys that he fought were all, at top level guys or at least high prospects. So, Rod was just one of 5 really good guys that kid had just been in there with, in the last year and a half or so. So he was certainly not a cherry-picked opponent by any stretch of the imagination for your first fight at 130 pounds. But I mean, can you expect anything less from Rod? Rod's never cherry-picked an opponent ever, so.
You're right, and he's ready to fight 20 rounds no matter what type of shape, what he's cut, whether he's heavy, light, or whatever. He's in shape. There's no doubt about it.
I can't wait to hear the Smokin' Jim broadcast of while the punches are being thrown, what was being said. I'm just excited, and hopefully you post it on the internet so us out-of-towners can catch it and get Channel 53.
It's funny how you say that. I talked to one of the ladies in charge, and I said, we had so much trouble even seeing the fight last year, let alone hearing it. So I want to give a shout-out to her crew, professor at the Art Institute. That was their crew filming. They mic'd us up. Mics went bad because there might be a curse at the Meadows on trying to do boxing in the rain. So they did get mics that stayed live the whole night. And I'll give you a little tip here. Smokin' Jim was asking me how many punches were thrown and did he punch himself out, and then we'll go deeper into that when you see the show. But the one thing I want to correct is Smokin' Jim gets a little excited, as everybody knows, you included, Dan. So when our man finally was so dehydrated he was puking, Smokin' Jim goes, he's spitting up blood. I go, no, he's not. You can smell the puke here. And if you ever went to grade school or whatever school and a kid got sick and you saw other kids get sick, Dan, that's what it smelled like ringside. And I know you got a great imagination, so I had to calm my man down and say there's no blood, but he was still arguing there's blood.
Smell that bad.
Hey, Dan, not only did me and Al Levine get in an argument during the fight, but the fighter and Al got in an argument during the fight. They're yelling at each other during the fight, man, the opponent. So that was some great stuff, man.
Dan, our man, shut up. I was saying that he got knocked down. So our man, Noel or whatever, he goes, I slipped. He looked over at me and said, I slipped.
And then Dan, I says, uh-oh, Al, he's going to come at you. Al says, I'm 210. What's he going to do to me?
only with the Pittsburgh Sportsline crew could we go off subject on boxing with only a little hint of boxing skills. So, but that's some of what you have to look forward to. That's a teaser. But my point before we got off on this tangent is I will get the direct film sent to my Dropbox, so I'll be able to post it everywhere that I want, Dan.
Them ladies take care of you, Al.
Thanks. And shout out to Kathy. That was just great. She said it was glad to see the talking machine. Luckily, I was there because they were trying to move our position, take tables out and everything else. So
I was late.
Yeah, Smokin' Jim was unfashionably late. He was actually wearing a suit and tie, as you saw, Dan.
He was dapper.
With the hat, as always.
My man.
And tonight he's rocking a Pittsburgh Sportsline hat. So
That's it. You got to represent.
that's what I keep saying. Thanks for hammering that point home. Dan, I'm glad it comes from a third party because he's not listening to the talking machine that much. But
That's okay. You can't be a prophet in your own town. you know that.
My man, Dan, that was great.
But Dan, I'm not trying to compete with the Bible. No biblical standards here. I don't want to die in my own city either.
Gotta write
Not
that
yet.
down.
To jump from the lightning rod to another guy over in Ohio that's really stand out that Dan Jay's quite familiar with. Sean Porter is going to fight Adrian Bronner on June 20th. Dan, what are your feelings? I know what your feelings are, but
Well, you can state it on air.
Well, it's a very exciting opportunity, obviously, for anybody involved with, Sean and his career and his fans and Northeast Ohio and, even Western Pennsylvania. The guy, he's from Cleveland originally. He went to high school in Akron, and, it's really for the whole region. They call it the Battle of Ohio. But let's face it, anybody who follows boxing that knows about Adrian Broner, there's a small percentage, you can count it on one finger, of people that maybe like Adrian Broner outside of Cincinnati. So Sean represents everything that's good about boxing, about being a human being. He's one of the nicest kids you're ever going to meet in your life. Church-going kid, respectful kid. Just does all the right things. 24/7 lifestyle, doesn't drink, smoke, do anything but boxing 24/7. Loves to go to the movies and just chill, and he's just a chill guy. Good people. Salt of the earth Midwesterner. Broner, flip side, completely the opposite. So he's the showman. He's the guy that's built his brand on being controversial and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a good versus bad. I'm not sure Broner's not a bad guy. I don't know him personally, but I know people that do know him that think he's an okay guy. And even Porters, they've known him their whole life. They've actually, Kenny Porter, his trainer and father, goes all the way back to the time Adrian was like 8 or 9 years old when he was coaching him. So they have a relationship long term. So it's not really a grudge match. It's really more of an opportunity for Sean to show out and become a star on network television. June 20th, MGM Grand on NBC. Also on the card, Sammy Vasquez faces his toughest foe, Wale Omatoso, that just broke this afternoon in the last hour. I just reached out to Sammy on Facebook to congratulate him, and I'm really looking forward to watching that fight ringside.
is that fight going to be telecast on TV?
With the co-feature, Errol Spence, the Olympian, who's fighting on the co-feature of that card. So it's going to be a stacked card. Anybody that's out in Vegas, it's a great card to get to, but at least you're going to be able to watch it in the comfort of your own home on network television, NBC primetime. So it's exciting.
Wow, thanks for that update. I wondered who Sammy was going to fight.
Yeah, the guy he's fighting, he's a Nigerian fighter based out of Oxnard, California. Only one loss, and it came to world champion Jesse Vargas, who's coming up with a fight with Timothy Bradley on the 27th of June. So I think I want to say he's like 30 or 32-1.
Wow.
But a very solid guy, very, very, very solid guy for Sammy.
I guess Sammy growing up in Manessa, and he loved beating up on them brothers.
All right, well.
Dan, you don't have to answer that. Smoking Jim throws that. That was his left hook there, buddy. And Brenner almost knocked the table over when he heard that. So you have to watch our video when it's up later this week. Matter of fact, Smoke. Yep, he's a hooker. He's a hooker. No doubt about it. No, thanks for your great information. What do you think about our boy Stevie Upshur and his fight coming up on the 29th here?
Oh, I'm very excited. I think it's the beginning of good things to come. It's an Al Heyman card in Philadelphia against a tough guy. I think it's Gonzalez. It's Alejandro something. I can't remember, but I saw him fight on the Top Rank show last April before the Pacquiao-Tim Bradley fight, and he fought an undefeated guy named Liddell Rhodes from Vegas, and I thought he beat him. And
really?
Of course, he didn't get the decision because that's just kind of how boxing goes. And he's going to be a tough guy, but Stevie's ready. I mean, he's ready to go. You can ask Zach. He's really ready to go.
Hey, you know what, Dan? If you want some behind the scenes, he was almost too ready to go. His foot almost got smashed with some steel.
Yeah, he went from 0 to 100 before my eyes could open twice. So yeah, let's just get that fight over with.
Hopefully that translates to his next fight that's coming up. So that'd be great.
And I guess my last question for you, Dan, since I know you're a busy guy out there in the great state of Texas, would be, What's the plan for Lightning Rod Soccer moving forward at 130 pounds? I mean, we need a big fight here, Dan.
Hey, Zach, can you repeat yourself? I'm sorry, it's a little bit loud here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, what's Lightning Rod's plan moving forward? Can we get a big fight at 130 or 135 pounds now?
Well, I mean, it's it's just one of those things. Boxing is full of politics, and it gets frustrating because, I think he's done everything he's supposed to do, and I think it's really more of a waiting game. He's going to end up rated now at 130 in the WBA. He's got a WBA regional title now, and we'll see where that kind of leads. But, as you know, Rod's a busy guy. He's an entrepreneur, opening up the fight company in the South Hills Village Mall. I got to check it out on Sunday. It's going to be the best gym Pittsburgh's ever seen, 16,000 square feet.
Wow.
So, if the fight breaks this summer, a big fight, he'll be ready. If not, he'll be training people at the gym. So, Rod don't stop. He doesn't slow down and wait for people. He just keeps it pushing. So hopefully he gets the opportunity to maybe challenge that Japanese guy, Miura, over in Japan. That'd be a big opportunity. And, his manager's always hammering the phone. So hopefully something breaks, and hopefully Golden Boy steps up for him for once.
Well, wasn't that our last contractual fight for Golden Boy?
Yeah, technically. So they're either going to, if they re-sign him, hopefully they push him. But for whatever reason, they didn't, they just didn't give him the push that, they should have. And, it's what it is. It's the haves and have-nots. But that's the difference between Rod and just about everybody else in boxing is he's not going to sit around and wait.
Hey,
He'll create opportunities for himself. If he has to come back and fight again locally, to get another win, defend his belts again, he'll do it. If he gets the opportunity, then he'll do that. But he's going to keep pushing, and he's going to build a successful business out there in the South Hills, and hopefully with himself and Stevie Upshur and Dan Harvest and those guys will help to get a little stimulation as far as the boxing gym goes. It's got some other things like CrossFit and some other things outside of just the traditional grindy boxing gym that only us true box heads enjoy.
Good point, Dan.
Yep. Yeah, he's giving something out to the public. So Rod will be good either way.
Can anybody, in your opinion, beat Gennady Golovkin, Dan?
Hey, man, I'm going to say this right now. My boy, Darnell Diesel Boone, who was on Morgan Fish last year at the Mountaineer Racetrack, just got done knocking out an undefeated Al Heyman. Actually, guy, one loss. Al Heyman fighter, was a highly ranked guy, top 15 guy at 175 pounds. He moved all the way up, knocked this guy unconscious. He fights on NBC Sports Network, CBS Sports Network, Friday night from Las Vegas against an undefeated Russian, 14-0. His first fight at middleweight. He literally just got done knocking the guy out a month ago. He's fighting this Russian. He knocks this guy out. I'm telling you, any given night, Darnell Boone can knock anybody out. He's knocked out the light heavyweight champion of the world, Adonis Stevenson. He's knocked Andre Ward down. He knocked Kovalev down 3 times in a split decision loss. Anything's possible for Darnell Boone. But other than that, I really don't think that Golovkin, any of those middleweights are going to beat Golovkin. I really don't.
Hey, Dan, we appreciate all your great comments. You have any last word here for us?
Hey, man, I just really enjoyed my weekend with you guys and getting to see everybody and hanging out. And I'll be back in a month or so, and we'll all catch up, soon. You
going to be here for the July 4th fights then?
Possibly. I don't know. I have a family reunion the week before that. I don't know, how long I'm going to be to stick around because I'm going to have to be out in Vegas the week before that. So, I don't know yet. But
okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely get together when I'm around.
All right, Dan. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Have a great night.
Great interview, Phyllis. Great job.
One of the most brilliant minds in the boxing industry that I've ever been fortunate enough to be friends with.
Thanks, Zach Brunner, for making that happen.
Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate it. Hope you got to hear this interview, and you'll see more and hear more from Dan J from time to time. Just a great guy, too. Not only an expert, but a great guy to talk to just in person.
Well, back to the sports talk, and obviously it'll be non-boxing related from here on out.
Obviously.
We touched on the boxing. we touched on the horse racing that's upcoming. Any feelings on your Pirates, Al Levine, the talking machine?
Yeah, at 18 and 20 at this point of the season, you still have 162 games, so that's not too bad.
Are they where you thought they were going to be?
Right about there. I thought they'd be a game or two above 500 is my thought. But they had a lot better pitching than I thought, less hitting than I thought. But it seems like the hitting's coming around. So,
Is it a positive thing, Levine, that there hasn't been any real significant injuries in the pitching staff?
as you know, in all sports, it is. It's only a matter of time before the injuries start coming up. So,
But to this point, they've been
Yeah.
able to
Yeah,
get
there's-
lucky to this point.
no real injuries except that phantom knee injury with McCutchen. As soon as he starts hitting over 300, the knee injury will go bye-bye.
Leonardo ain't hurt?
Who?
Lariano?
Lariano?
He's
not
pitching
hurt?
tonight.
Oh, okay. 18 and 21.
It's lucky. I'm just glad we have haters. But what's
I
funny
try to
is,
stay optimistic, Levine.
but you're starting to waver a little. I like that. So your proof will be in the pudding. Smoking
Yes, sir.
Jim, he never lets facts get in the way. Because when they have a winning record, why do they have a second wild card? I don't understand that. Why do they have wild cards in football? Why do almost all the hockey teams get to play in the playoffs?
But you guys
Why
are,
does the NBA have everybody in there?
But you guys are traditionalists. You don't want a DL in the National League, but now you want to go with wild cards. The tradition is there's no such thing as
Here's
wild
what
cards in
common
the
sense
National
and facts
Leagues.
sort of get in the way. When you had 8 to 12 teams in each league, now you have 32 teams. You got fans in all these cities. What do you want to just say? We're going to play like we played in 1920? You can do some of it as the rules change, but you have to at least keep other teams engaged. Make another division then.
Good point, but then just go to a DL. Why,
DL isn't a big thing.
Like Little Z said last week, you don't want to pay. You want to pay a guy to pitch, not hit, and can't argue with that.
Did you ever play baseball as a kid?
I never.
That's a
played
yes
in
or no.
Yeah, I played all
I
the
could
time.
hit, I couldn't pitch.
The
Okay.
pitchers
My
were
life.
some of the best
But I
hitters.
could hit.
Pitchers were the
Bingo.
best
That's my
athletes.
point.
But they practiced it.
That's what they do
They
in the
don't
majors.
practice it in the majors.
You
They
don't
practice
follow
a
with the
bunt.
Pirates.
They
They have
practice
a
bunt.
they have a pitching hitting coach this year. You're not even up to speed on that, and you're following the game. That's what they do. Everything's specialization.
Knowing extensively what you know following the Pirates, Al Levine,
Yeah.
are there any players like Polanco that we have buried down in the minors that we could bring up right now? Man, Smoking Jim, your gum's wearing out.
If there's gum on those new tables that come up, everybody's fired that has gum that goes under there. But that's just live TV, what it's like, folks. They don't have anybody right now that they can bring right up that would be there. They have some players hitting 300, but we saw what happened to a guy like Alvarez who should have been sent down to the minors.
Tabitha's up, isn't he?
He's one of the laziest guys.
But they brought him
non-trying
up. He batting 350 down there in the minors.
in the minors, but he comes up to the majors and all of a sudden he has a hamstring issue. And certain fly balls he can't run to, but yet he can try to steal a base. So I'm still confused about that. So I don't think he should bring a lot of these players up at this time of the year. When it gets next month in June, maybe before the All-Star game, some of these players will get some more games under their belt. They need playing time. When you're bringing these guys up, they lose that chance to play every day. And do you want them to just sit around and get lazy?
No, not
Okay.
at all. A little bit of what you were talking about the hockey players taking it a little bit more serious for their country
Yeah.
and for whatever god they may worship. What do you say to the like I said, to the fan back at home in Pittsburgh that is watching Sid play just absolutely extraordinary, and they're just kind of miffed and kind of frustrated?
Because it takes a team, and when you have so many injuries, that's the key thing to the Penguins this year. People seem to fluff over because like it's an excuse, but it's a fact. When you have more injuries of major players, you can make up all the stories you want. You don't have any continuity on a team. You don't have any chemistry. You don't have players that have played with each other all season. That makes a difference on every team. Especially it's not just an individual. It's more of a team game in hockey. You need a good goaltender. We had him this year. He played out of his mind.
So do you think to the detractors they're being overly critical of the coaching? of the Penguins?
In this case, yes. He was brought in as a stopgap coach, and he did great for what he had to work with and the cap issues. There's no doubt. And as far as countries, all over the world, people are all about their countries. You guys,
Countries come first.
you two guys, of anybody on the
agree.
thing, I'm the least like this, but it's all about your neighborhoods. I've never seen guys, well, I have, but they just won't let the neighborhoods go. So that's the same thing with a country. You two are like countries among yourself. It's all about where you live.
Well,
And
you say that because you never lived in Monroeville.
you know what? I traveled there and knew people that lived in Monroeville. I hate going out there. I actually don't hate much, but I hate going out there. I still want to know where you live. You won't tell me a street. If you tell me a street, I'll come out there tonight. Crickets. I don't hear anything. But these two are about countries. Pardon me, John. Thank you, sir. We got John the Tiger giving us the 3-minute warning.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The show went by quick. Great show.
That did. Definitely. All right, are we done with countries in Munhall and Gateway?
Yep, I think so.
For tonight.
So.
God's country.
Well, that's what you say, so you understand Sid Crosby.
Yeah, I definitely countries first.
Now, how
Country comes
real
first.
quick? How do you feel about the NFL tinkering with the kick, the extra point?
I don't really care.
You don't think it's gonna make too much of an impact or a difference?
Hey,
No. Well, you should hate the DL because baseball started without it. So you can't cover both sides of every argument. I just hate to bring the facts out on you guys. If you say that about the NFL, you're prejudiced against baseball and specialization. It's unbelievable.
Bring in the aluminum bats.
Do you want to see somebody die?
How you gonna die? They play a college with aluminum.
People are getting hit all the time.
Ball's
It's a
screaming off
catapult.
of that bat. Yeah, it's screaming off
That
of
ball
that.
might come in at 90. It's going out at
What kind of
120.
ball did we used to play with? That was it
Nerf.
rubber ball? No. What kind of ball we used to play with
Softball.
those aluminum bats? Forget what kind of ball.
I don't know. Next week you can tell us.
Hey, Smoking Jim's dropping this heavy money.
We're just about.
Man.
Wow,
Thanks,
we're just
bro.
out
Woo.
of time. John, what's that 1-minute warning? Did we get that yet?
2 minutes. Wow.
How did we talk for 2 minutes and there's still 2 minutes? Okay, he doesn't know.
Look for a live report coming up from the Fight Company as it gets ready to grand open on June 1st. It's going to be one of the best premier CrossFit and boxing gyms in the city of Pittsburgh. So I'm real excited to be in to be a part of that great team. Harvardson, Chambers, and Solka.
It sounds good. We got the 1-minute warning. Smoking Jim, where are you going to be this weekend?
I'm not sure. You gotta let me know. Al Levine, the talking machine. Where are we?
Well, something slipped through the cracks. It's Kumatai again.
All right.
Yeah, but we have no setup for it. We haven't been told anything. You are a key man. I didn't want to bring it up. I was going to talk off air, but you'll have to tell me because truly I'm in the dark. But I want to thank everybody for watching our show. Thanks. I thought I heard Erin Ward. She's here. Matt Harkins.
Yes, she is.
Greg's here, our intern. John the Tiger Kiger. He did an excellent job. He was focused 88% of the time.
Only
It's a new record.
One glitch.
He tried, yeah. Zach Brenner, thanks for being here. Smoking Jim Frazier, thanks for all the fiction and some of the facts you brought tonight. I enjoyed it. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Keep on watching us. We appreciate it. Be safe and stay Joey strong. Oh, if you didn't vote already, it's too late. The polls are closing right now. Take care.